Hildebrand. France has been under pressure, William, to reduce its deficit, but it's really unclear if it will stick to this EU deadline. Is there a chance?
Well, what we're hearing now from the finance minister, Michel Sapin, is they will try to stick to the deadline to reduce a target by 2015. Now, the EU mandates that the deficit be 3% of GDP. Last year, the figure stood at 4.3%, and Brussels has granted France until 2015 to meet this deadline. Some economists, however, doubt whether the country will be able to make that target in time, but the French finance minister, Michel Sapin, said otherwise.
France anticipated a deficit between 2.8 and 3%. So we're on course with the models we've been working with. The growth and deficit predictions made by the IMF reinforce our wish to respect our commitments, which is in France's interest, and at the same time to act to boost growth.
Okay, so a positive note there, William. How are the markets looking this Friday?
Things in Asia largely in the red today. The Nikkei down on the back of a stronger yen, but Asian trading largely suffering due to Thursday's steep sell-off on Wall Street. The tech-heavy Nasdaq index dropped 3.1%, its biggest decline since November 2011. Amazon, Facebook, and Google all closed down 4% or more. And after hitting a record earlier this month, the S&P 500 has fallen 3.3%.
Well, now, William, we're going to turn to a story in Germany that, to be cliché about it, strikes me as very un-German. An airport that literally won't take off the ground and is now looking for a very substantial bailout. That's
right. We're not used to hearing the Germans asking for bailouts. But Berlin's swanky Brandenburg Airport was slated to open in 2011, but that never happened due to cost overruns and delays. Now, last month, it was reported that the airport was only 4% ready and that it needs a 1.1 billion euro bailout. Delano de Souza has more.
An expensive embarrassment for a punctual country. Berlin's Brandenburg Airport, scheduled to open in 2011, is now asking the government for 1.1 billion euros. The project was initially intended to cost 1.2 billion euros, but it's now gone 3.5 billion over budget. When it opens, the airport will become Germany's third largest, with 27 million passengers per year expected. However, with the airport's prolonged delay, public tours of the construction site are picking up.
It's crazy what's happening here. But we're German. We'll figure it out. But I don't understand how we got here.
Below the departure hall, a spotless empty metro station. The cost of its upkeep per day is around 1 million euros. For example, this metro that runs on time ferries no passengers. It only circulates to ventilate the tunnels. A faulty fire system is the main culprit behind the delay. Cutting-edge smoke extraction devices aren't working the way they're supposed to. Architects behind the project have been accused of underestimating safety issues.
It's really bad for the engineering and the reputation of Germany. The whole world is laughing at Berlin. It's bad for our image.
There's an internal deadline to finish the airport by October 2016, but engineers have warned that might not be possible. There's still no official date set for the hub's opening.
We're going to take a look at some other company news now, William.
Yes. Trois Suisse France plans to cut 198 jobs here. The French clothing and furniture retailer made the announcement as it plans to scrap its paper catalog. Instead, it will shift focus to developing its internet business. The group currently employs 409 people. Since 2008, the French division has lost about 300 million euros.
And IBM will acquire Silverpop. The Atlanta-based tech firm makes software that monitors customer behavior, such as commenting on a blog post or watching advertisements. Terms of the deal were not disclosed, but are reportedly in the ballpark of some $270 million.
And starting April 15th, Google Glass goes on limited sale for 24 hours in the United States. The internet-connected headset will cost $1,500 and has been lauded as a future of computing and held as a death of privacy. The device's most controversial figure is a small camera that can record video or snap photos. Google Glass is an example of tech firms exploring more and more with wearable technologies.
Well, and we finish with a story about Very particular apartment listing in New York, huh, William?
That's right. France has put up for sale its UN ambassador's residence. The apartment is located on the exclusive Park Avenue, and it landed on the block as the country is trying to save money. It's an 18-room duplex selling for $48 million, and is in a building that's been nicknamed the Millionaires Building, with previous residents like the Kennedys and the Rockefellers. I think that's a little bit out of my price range, so I think I'll be sticking to my flat here in Paris.
I'm going to put a bid in immediately, William. Thanks very much, William. Hildebrandt there with the latest business news. Well, it's now time to grab the headlines here in France. We're joined by Florence